Welcome to Big B Daily. No frauds allowed.
What is going on, people? What's going on? What's going on? This is your boy, Big B. Welcome to the Big B Daily Show. We've been off for a few days. We had a little show yesterday. But we've been off for a few days with Christmas. Turn up. Today's Friday. This is the last one of the year. It is the last show of the year. That sounds crazy to me. We've been at this and doing these lives for about 4 months now, 3 months now, and having a good time, man. So we appreciate it. So what's going on? So let's dive into a couple of things that we're going to talk about. But as always, we are live on TikTok. We are live on YouTube. Anybody that's on TikTok and you're not following, please give me a follow. And if you are, click on that link and shoot on over to YouTube. Subscribe to Big B Sports Talk and subscribe over there on YouTube. It helps me out a lot. And if you're on YouTube, again, anything over there, want to send a super chat or anything, that is great. Want to send any gifts on TikTok, that's great. Anything to help support the channel, man. We all appreciate it. So let's get going. So the Pistons, 27 losses in a row. Here's the thing. They started out like gangbusters. The Pistons won the first 2 games of the year. And the next thing you know, they have lost 27 in a row. Oh, man. Insane. They are bad. Let me answer this. Ryan, yes, we are on YouTube and TikTok. I guess on Facebook too. So, man, it is just the Detroit Pistons used to mean something, man. People used to be afraid of the Pistons. I mean, literally, you go play the Pistons, it would bring fear to your heart. As a fan, you didn't like it. And now, nothing. Just nothing. You just go in. That's a stat game for you. That's a stat game for NBA player. And more importantly, what people do is they are more fearful of getting beat by the Pistons and being the team that loses to them. So that makes you play even harder against them. I've never seen anything. They are the worst team in the world. The worst team in the world. I don't care what you want to call it. They are the worst team in the world. They should be embarrassed. Unbelievable. Despicable. Just despicable. So, I don't know. Monty Williams doesn't want to be there. You can tell. You know, he keeps talking about, well, it's my fault we lost 27 games in a row. Yeah, tell us something we don't know, brother. We know. And they were up. What were they up? 26 points yesterday to the Celtics and lost the game. Now, I know every NBA team has a run. My goodness. It's horrible basketball. But yeah, Monty Williams, he doesn't want to be there. Detroit paid him a boatload of money to take the job. He doesn't want to be there. He acts like he doesn't want to be there. He's got a guy, Jaden Ivey, who can be a star in the NBA. He's got him on the bench playing 25 minutes a night. It's just ridiculous. People are talking about should they be investigated for tampering. If you just look at their roster's not good. It's just bad. Just bad, man. Ugh. Despicable. Let's move on, man. It's just ugly. Let's talk about the Browns. Now, look, being a lifelong Pittsburgh Steelers fan, the Browns believe that they are our rival, but we never look at the Browns as our equal. We never have, and quite honestly, we never will. But the Browns are playing good football right now. You can't deny that. You can't deny it. You just can't. They're playing good football. Joe Flacco, picked up off the couch, off the scrap heap, is out there dominating NFL defenses. I don't know if that's what that says. Does it mean that the NFL defenses are bad and that the NFL doesn't allow defense? That a guy that literally was on the couch, he wasn't on a practice squad, he wasn't a backup, he was on the couch till what, week 11? The Browns call him, he comes in, and now he's dominating. Personally, I think that it says more about the defenses in the National Football League and what the NFL has done to defenses than Flacco. I give Flacco a ton of credit. I give him a ton of credit. The guy's balling out. He's playing outstanding football. No doubt about it. But you're telling me a guy can come off the scrap heap and do that? Come on. I think it says more about what the NFL has done to defenses than it says about them. That's just me. So why didn't Pittsburgh do that? I have no idea. I have no clue. The Steelers should have done it. The Steelers basically, the Steelers did do it. We had Mason Rudolph sitting as our third string quarterback versus Mitchell Trubisky, who shouldn't even be in the league. That's what I think. Mitchell Trubisky shouldn't even be in the NFL. He's a bad quarterback. Now, look, I know what some people are going to say. Hey, I mean, he's in the NFL and he's getting an opportunity. I'm a bad quarterback. You guys are bad quarterbacks. You're not in the NFL. Why does he deserve to be in the NFL? You know, when we talk and say things like that, we can make things relevant and be talking about NFL players. Just because they're in the NFL doesn't mean that they deserve to be there. And they were given an opportunity, and more power to them. But the bottom line is that doesn't mean that if they're bad, that they deserve to stay. That's all I'm saying. So that's all I'm saying. But getting back to the Browns, more power to the Browns, man. More power to the Browns. So my man Hooligan, what's going on, Hooligan? Welcome back to the show. Hooligan says, but only the Browns would be better with a guy off the couch than their franchise quarterback. You ain't lying about that. That's a good point, TikTok. Hey, what's up, Welder? Welder Rick, what's happening? Good point here that my man made over here on YouTube. But only the Browns would be better with a guy off the couch than their franchise quarterback. Not only their franchise quarterback, the franchise quarterback that they're giving $230 million guaranteed to. I mean, think about that for a second. Whew, that's crazy. That is crazy. So, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is. The Browns clinch a playoff spot, and as quiet as it's kept, the Browns are going to do some damage. Yeah, buddy. The Browns are going to do some damage. People keep saying, well, they don't have any tape on Flacco. What are you talking about? This ain't Joe Flacco's first time playing in the National Football. He played last year. He's played for over a decade. They've got plenty of film on Flacco. Plenty of film. So it's just interesting. Email, baby, by the way. But it's just interesting what he's doing with this team. Flacco got a little bit left. I like what they're doing. I like what they're doing. Give them credit. You got to give them credit. So let's move on. Let's move on. Let's talk a little college football playoff. Let's talk a little college football playoff. Now, we know what the games are going to be. First game on Monday, Alabama against Michigan. Second game, Washington versus Texas. In the first game, we'll break that down first. I got Alabama winning that game. Now, I want to preface that by saying I am rooting for Michigan. I want Michigan to win. The reason I want Michigan to win is because I think that they are giving all this flack and all this nonsense to Jim Harbaugh over nothing. All that, they're stealing signs. Everybody steals signs. I don't want to hear it. They got caught. I admit it. And it's cheating, but everybody does it. I just don't want to hear it. I just don't want to hear it. And they're giving them all this grief over it. So that's why I'm rooting for Michigan. Because number one, Jim Harbaugh is not going to be the coach of Michigan next year. He's going to the NFL. I'd like to see him go out with a bang and just give a big middle finger to the NCAA on his way out the door. That's why I'm rooting for him. I think Alabama is going to out-athletic them, and I think Alabama is going to beat them. But if Michigan wins, I will be extremely happy. My man Rob, Michigan's going to get stomped, and Hairball is running back to the NFL. See, it's that kind of nonsense, Rob Johnson, is what we're talking about. It's that kind of nonsense. So, Michigan wins a close one, says my man Hooligan. Washington wins a close one. Michigan blows out Washington in the championship. I wouldn't mind seeing it, but I don't think that's going to happen. I got Texas in a walk over Washington, and this is why I say that. The Texas defensive line, they're going to manhandle Washington's offensive line. They're going to get after Penix Jr. They're not going to let him run the ball. That's number one. And they're going to get after Penix. They're going to get after him. Texas is weak on the back end. I'll admit they are. So they'll probably give up some plays here or there. But they are going to get physical. And they're going to get physical. So that's who I like in the game, man. That's who I like in the game. I think it's Alabama and Texas in a rematch for the national title. And then we'll pick it up from there. I'm not going to give you a championship prediction today. We're going to do some more lives. We'll have some more lives before all that happens. But that's who I think wins on Monday. Alabama and Texas. I just think Texas is more physical. And their defensive line is going to destroy Washington up front. On both sides of the ball. On both sides of the ball. So, you feel bad for Liberty. Liberty is going to get if Oregon is even a little bit interested, they're going to walk right over Liberty. So we'll see about that. So let's move on, people. Let's move on. Let's move on. Let's open this thing up, man. We got some big NFL games that are coming up this weekend. Let's talk about them. Let's talk about them. By the way, anybody that is on TikTok, if you're not following, please give us a follow, man. We would appreciate it. We would appreciate it. Thank you. And if you are following, click on the YouTube link and come and join the YouTube link and join Big B Sports Talk. Come subscribe over there, to Big B Sports Talk on YouTube and join the chat. Join the chat. So, let's talk about a little NFL football. By the way, if you're on YouTube and you're not subscribed, please do. Please do. Cowboys and Lions. Cowboys and Lions. I guess that's tomorrow. That's tomorrow. That's not Sunday. Here's the thing. I don't trust the Cowboys, but the Cowboys are going to win this game. So, I don't trust the Cowboys, but the Cowboys are going to win this game. And you guys follow along. Let me know who you guys think are going to win. Cowboys or Lions. And the reason I got the Cowboys over the Lions just won their first division title in 30 years. They're not really playing for a whole lot because I don't think they're going to get the 2 seed. They're going to be the 3 seed. And I think that the Cowboys are just going to beat them. There's going to be a letdown from Detroit. The Cowboys are back at home. They're going to win. They're going to win. Sunday games. Steelers, Seahawks. I've picked against my Steelers the last 2 weeks. I'm going to do it again today. I think the Seahawks beat the Steelers and put the Steelers out of their misery as far as trying to get to the playoffs. I think they beat them. I think the Seahawks have enough. It hurts to say that. It hurts to say it, but I think they got enough. It's just painful. Steelers going on the road, I don't think they got a chance. I don't think they got a chance. Not to mention the Steelers have never won in Seattle. That's a great point, Hooligan. The Steelers have never won there. So, it's going to be brutal. Going to be brutal. So, let's move on here. What's the next game? Bengals and Chiefs. Jamar Chase talking trash. Told him, put it up on the bulletin board. Nobody cares. I like it. I like that kind of bravado. I like that talk. Unfortunately, you're going to get beat, though. I got the Chiefs winning this one. Chiefs' backs are against the wall. They got to have this win basically to win the division. They got to win. The Raiders are all right on their heel. But I think the Chiefs beat the Bengals. Bengals got humbled last week by my Pittsburgh Steelers, I might add. Humbled. They'll be looking to bounce back, but I think the Chiefs got enough for them. Patriots and Bills. Bills win this one. Patriots are looking for a draft pick, probably looking for a new coach next year. Bills are one of the hottest teams in football. By the way, if they stay the 6th seed, I'm predicting right now, the Bills will beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead on Wild Card Sunday. Or whenever they play the first round of the playoffs, 3-6 seed, the Bills will beat the Chiefs if that's the matchup. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you, Pats aren't going to surprise anything, John. Come on, man. You know that. You know that. They're bad. Next up, Falcons-Bears. Nobody really cares. The Bears will beat the Falcons. The Falcons had so much potential, but they were stubborn, wouldn't go get a quarterback, could have made the playoffs, could have won their division. They didn't do it. Justin Fields could have been their quarterback. They chose not to do it, and they're going to get a taste of what it looks like up close. Bears beat the Falcons. Raiders and Colts both need the game. Raiders are trying to surprise and maybe win the West or get into a playoff spot. They're still in it. Coming off a big win on the road last week. Colts need the win because the Colts are trying to win their division. I want to pick the Colts, but I'm going to say the Raiders upset. Give me the Raiders. I like Antonio Pierce. I love what he's doing. Not to mention, they got to give him that job. They should have already given him the job. But they got to give Antonio Pierce that job. He earned it. He has earned it. Give it to him. Next up, Rams at Giants. Rams win. Giants don't know who they want to play at quarterback. DeVito wasn't playing bad. He gets taken out. Tyrod Taylor comes in. I don't know. Rams are playing good football, though. Rams are playing good football. So give me the Rams. Cardinals and Eagles. Eagles win. Even though the Eagles are playing like garbage, they're good enough to beat the Cardinals at home. So give me the Eagles. Saints and Buccaneers. Saints have quit. Their quarterback is a mess. Derek Carr, have no idea why he's even on their roster. Buccaneers win, and they win the division with the game. Who would have thought at the beginning of the year that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to win that division? Nobody thought it, but it's happening. It's happening. 49ers at Commanders. Commanders have absolutely quit. 49ers are licking their wounds after being smacked around by the Ravens. So give me the 49ers. They got to get back. This is a get-back game for them on the road, going across country. They better get back. Brock Purdy came down to earth. Attention, all Brock Purdy is better than Joe Montana lovers. Brock Purdy, he came back down to earth, didn't he, TikTok? I've been telling you. As soon as his team doesn't give him a lead and he has to actually play with game pressure, what can he do? Lo and behold, 4 interceptions. Get him out of the MVP race. Give it to Lamar Jackson. Panthers at Jaguars. Are the Panthers, they had some life, didn't they? The Jaguars are playing like garbage. Now, I'm going to pick the Jaguars, but I actually want the Panthers to beat them. I want the Panthers to beat them. Give me the Jags to win the game because I'm smart. I'm not gonna lose credibility, but I want the Panthers to win. So Jacksonville, they're playing like they don't want to win the division. Big game, Dolphins Ravens, huge game. But give me the Ravens. I think they got something to prove. They got something to prove. Give me the Ravens. The Dolphins are playing well. They're going to be without Waddle. So, Marvel Fanatic, we appreciate you, man, with the super chat. Thank you, brother. We appreciate all super chats, man. Anything you guys do to support the channel, man, we appreciate it. Thank you, guys. We really do. So let's see. What else do we got? The Cowboys. We're just looking at some comments over here on YouTube. We're pulling up some comments. Cowboys have a real problem in run defense. So waiting to see. Ooh. I don't know, man. They do have a problem with Can. And Gibbs and Montgomery are going to be very, very good. And that that line of the Lions is good. I just think the Cowboys are a different team at home. They've proven to be a different team at home. I think they're going to get after Detroit. And Detroit, I think, is just going to have that letdown, like I said. I think Detroit's going to have that letdown. Let's pick it up here. Titans, Texans. C.J. Stroud is coming back. So I think C.J. Stroud is coming back. The Titans are playing for Vrabel. I think Vrabel, I know a lot of people are saying he's going to leave or they're going to fire him. They'd be crazy to get rid of Vrabel. They'd be crazy to get rid. He's not the problem. They just have a horrible roster. But Vrabel is not the problem. You held on to basket case Tannehill too long as your quarterback. So that's number one. Looks like you found Will Levis, who can be good. Build around him. You'll be all right. So give me the Texans, though. The Texans still trying to play for something. They're looking to make the playoffs and still possibly win the division. Give me the Texans. Chargers, Broncos. Look, Sean Payton treated Russell Wilson like garbage. Russell Wilson hadn't played horrible. He played horrible last year. He ain't played horrible this year. I don't care what Sean Payton's saying. That hadn't happened. Sean Payton's lying. If he didn't want Russell Wilson to be his quarterback, he should have never taken the job. He knew what Russell Wilson's contract was. So you knew that going into it, that you took the job anyway because you weren't going to walk away. What is it, like $18 million a year he gets? Guaranteed $90 million. He wasn't walking away from that or passing that up, should I say. So all the Broncos' problems are not Russell Wilson's fault. No matter what Sean Payton says, the Chargers are a mess. Give me the Broncos. Even with Stidham as the quarterback. And then last game, Packers at Vikings. Give me the Packers on the road. The Vikings are a mess. They're going to another quarterback. They don't know what they want to do. Give me the Packers on the road. Jordan Love playing decent football. Give me the Packers. Give me the Packers. So, yeah, Ryan, they bumped Wilson for absolutely no reason. Makes no sense to me. You're still in the playoff hunt. It's about money. We know that with that injury contract part of his contract. It's ridiculous, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? So, all right. Ravens did the Niners a favor, says my man Hooligan over here on YouTube. He smacked the Kool-Aid out their mouth. Yeah, he did. They did. They beat him up. Question by my man Jay over here on TikTok. Do you believe in January Joe making an impact in the playoffs? Yeah, I do. I think the Browns have an opportunity to do something. They do. So I like it. I absolutely like the Browns. I like what the Browns got. I liked them at the beginning of the year. I think they're going to be okay. So, my man, Marvel Fanatic. First of all, with some respect on my Ravens name, but question, do you think after Monday that the Ravens are the most dominant team, and is Lamar Jackson locked into the MVP after that game on Monday? Well, I'll answer the second part first. Lamar's not locked into anything yet. There's still 2 weeks to go. If Lamar comes out and plays a stinker against the Dolphins and Brock Purdy plays great or CMC plays great, then Lamar's going to drop down a peg. I think the race is that close for MVP this year, and it's kind of a week-to-week thing right now. You play bad, you're not winning. You play good, you got a shot. So, no, Lamar's not locked into anything yet. Do I think the Ravens are the most dominant team in football? Yes. And they proved that. And everybody's going to say, well, it was one game. Everybody was saying that about the 49ers. They were saying how dominant they were, how good of a football team they were. Well, when that dominant team that everybody agreed was the most dominant team, and they get smacked around by a team with the same record that plays in a tougher division, comes to their house and whips them, how is that team not the most dominant? It has to be, doesn't it? Yes. Yes. That doesn't mean that the Ravens are unbeatable. We've seen them get beat this year in games that they shouldn't have. And that's part of the NFL. But, yeah, they're the most dominant team right now. Can't take that away from them. They proved it. The game meant nothing. Yeah, it meant something, John. Otherwise, they wouldn't play them. Come on, man. You got to be better than that saying stuff like that, man. Come on. Come on. Don't tell me that a football game doesn't mean anything. Because if it didn't mean anything, then why were the starters out there? Games that don't mean anything at the end of the year, when a team's already wrapped up home field advantage and they don't play their starters because it doesn't mean anything, that's a game that means nothing. But this game meant something. So stop it. Stop saying that. Makes you look foolish. So we'll see in the Super Bowl. Okay. And they could beat them in the Super Bowl. The 49ers could come back and beat them in the Super Bowl if they both get there. But don't tell me it didn't mean anything, man. Don't say that because your team lost. Stop it. Got to be better than that. Got to be better than that. Let's see. My man Rob Johnson says Sean Payton is overrated. Brett Favre, terrible throw, is the only reason he has a ring. Yeah. I mean, instead of Brett Favre running for that first down and making a throw across his body when he didn't have to, and they could have kicked the field goal to win, you're right. You're right. I don't know. It seems like he's gone out of his way to treat Russell Wilson bad. If you think Russell Wilson is bad, just let his play prove it to you. So that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Steve Ritchie, what's going on, man? Welcome back to the show. He says that Flacco can be the sole leading road win playoff QB in NFL history this year. Yeah, he can. He can. Flacco, I mean, he's got those kids playing football. I mean, I call them kids. Those men playing good football. So it's not Jarrod Allen, but hooligans thinking that Josh Allen is going to sneak in and win the MVP. He could. They could. Josh Allen's starting to play good football. So let's see. Speaking of Jarrod Allen, is there a reason he's not in the Hall of Fame yet? I'm just asking. Because we're going to get into this Hall of Fame talk here in just a quick second. But why isn't Jarrod Allen in the Hall of Fame? Did I miss something? Interesting. So I think he should already be in, but that's just me. That's just me. Hines Ward got snubbed again. Yeah, he did. He did. Let me ask you all this question. Let's get into this one. Let's get into this. And again, anybody that's on TikTok, that if you're in the chat, if you're not following, please give me a follow, man. We appreciate it. Same for YouTube. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe, man. There's a lot of stuff on the YouTube channel, man. Interviews, podcasts, fantasy football, or my man Hot Soup Fantasy Football, and LTB Sports, by the way, is over there. A lot of interesting sports content. So a lot of stuff on Big B Sports Talk, man. We're still growing. We're young, but we're growing. And we appreciate your all support, man. So, Hall of Fame. Devin Hester. I made a post yesterday. It's been highly talked about on TikTok and on YouTube. I don't think Devin Hester should be in the Hall of Fame. Or at least not right now. I think he's got to wait a while. Look, everybody keeps saying that he's the best returner ever. And I'll give him credit for that. He is. Although if Deion did it full time, Deion was better than him. And I think everybody knows that. But Deion didn't do it full time. We can't go off of ifs and buts. We have to go off reality and what actually happened. So we can't go off of, what could have happened. We got to go off of what actually happened. Devin Hester is the best returner that the National Football League has ever seen. It's just period, point blank. He is. But does he deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? I don't think, not over a kicker. Not over a kicker. And I keep saying kicker is more valuable than Devin Hester did. And people want to argue that. And I just don't know why. And if they're saying, well, he's the best to ever do it. How could you even compare a kicker? Well, who would you rather have on your team, Devin Hester or Justin Tucker? Because if Justin Tucker is the best that we've ever seen, and I'm pretty sure that he is, who's more valuable? First of all, if I'm Justin Tucker, I kick the ball out of the end zone so Devin Hester doesn't get a return. If I'm a punter, I just kick the ball out of bounds, kick it away from him, and he doesn't have the opportunity to beat me. But Justin Tucker, somebody said Vinatieri. Okay. Vinatieri, I would say, is the best playoff kicker, most clutch kicker, but he ain't the best. You are going to take Justin Tucker all day, every day, and 100 times on Sunday. And it ain't even close. It ain't even close. Talking about Devin. And then people say, well, what if you threw the ball to Devin Hester? Just get it in his hands. Devin Hester was a below average receiver. That's why he didn't get the ball. Because if Devin Hester was that great as a receiver, he would have been out there. You think NFL teams are like, you know what? We're going to waste a roster spot on a guy that can just return the football when we know he's a great receiver, but we're not going to put him out there at receiver. We're not going to do that. Give me a break. He would absolutely be out there. So it's crazy. It's crazy. The people that say this kind of stuff. Man, I'm not hip. And then there's people that always say, well, if you're the best at the position, you have to be a Hall of Famer. So a long snapper, the best long snapper ever, deserves to be in the Hall of Fame? No. Steve Ritchie, good point. Hall of Fame for someone like Hester. Again, there's going to be an off year for other positions, and this year is definitely not that year or any year coming up for the foreseeable future. Exactly. I'm taking all of those guys in the Hall of Fame over Devin Hester. Stop. So, and then, yes, Hooligan, no. With today's rules, Hester, would he have the same stats? Absolutely not. And then there's people that say, oh, they changed the rules for Devin Hester. I'm like, no, they didn't. The NFL had to appear to be looking out for player safety. That's why they changed the kickoff rules. That's why they moved the ball up so you wouldn't have all those big collisions. Jiminy Christmas. And Fred, you can keep saying false all you want. Nobody's paying attention. Yeah, that's the NFL had to change the rules, and they appeared to care about player safety. They don't really care, but to keep themselves out of a lawsuit, they acted like they made a rule change. That's all. But there ain't no way. There ain't no way. And here's a good point, hooligan. Tyreek Hill made the NFL as a returner early on. They said he was just a returner. And look what happened. It's because he turned out to be a great receiver. And guess what? They stopped letting him be a returner so he wouldn't get hurt because he was that much better as a receiver and could help them way more at that. Don't tell me Devin Hester was a good receiver. Stop it. Stop. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So, again, I don't want to take anything away from Devin Hester. He's in National Football League, crying out loud, and the man's the best to ever do it. But just because you're the best to ever do it doesn't necessarily make you a Hall of Famer over other guys that are in the same class. So, Devin Hester is a top 20 wide receiver of all time. Mims by Stick on TikTok literally just said that Devin Hester is a top 10 or a top 20 receiver of all time. Somebody actually took the time to type that on TikTok. I want to emphasize that. Somebody actually took the time out of their life that they'll never get back to say that Devin Hester was a top 20 receiver of all time. That's what somebody just said on TikTok. You see? Do you see why? Do you see why I make fun of people when they say stupid stuff? Do you see? I'm a fair guy. I'm an honest guy. I'm going to have fun with everybody. But do you see? Do you all see? I just... Somebody literally took the time out of their life, not their day. They took the time out of their life to do that. And just so you know, my man, you'll never get that back. You'll never get that time back in your entire life, what you just wasted on this. Unbelievable. We didn't do fraud of the week, but you know what? I think we just found our fraud of the week. Mims by Stick over on TikTok. That who is the fraud of the week. He just said that Devin Hester was a top 20 receiver all time. Boom, fraud of the week. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I love it, people. I love it. Now we got some more business to take care of before we go today. We got some more business before we go today. Quick question, Trey Fade. What do I think about the Mason Rudolph starting? I think he has to. If he doesn't start this week in Seattle, they should fire Mike Tomlin, just walk him right off the field and tell him your services are no longer needed. If you go back to Baby Hands Pickett. If Baby Hands Pickett starts this game, walk Mike Tomlin off the field into the locker room and say, we thank you for your services, but your service is no longer required. Mason Rudolph had the best game. He had a better game than anything that Baby Hands Pickett has done over the last 2 years. I'm not saying that Mason Rudolph is the future. I don't even believe that he is. But damn it, don't tell me that Baby Hands is either. I don't want to hear it. So, Well, they've said Hooligan that he's starting, but it's up in the air if Pickett's ready. And you know Tomlin doesn't like taking guys' jobs away from injury. So what's going on, man? It's going good. Kim Guy, what's going on? We just had somebody in here that said that Devin Hester was a top 20 receiver of all time. I still can't believe that they wasted their life putting that anywhere in the universe. I can't believe it. Can't believe it. So, anyway, let's a matter of business before the end of the year. We got to get this solved, people. We got to get this solved. And I'm going to depend on you guys. So, listen up, TikTok. Listen up, YouTube. This is for you. We got to get this name right. Now, I was on live on TikTok earlier today. The consensus was the Goon Squad. So it was down to 3. It was either we're going to call you guys the Goons, the Goon Squad, or the Hooligans. So a lot of people said the Goon Squad, and it was pretty unanimous that Goon Squad it was. So I will bring this to you guys again, but we're going to get this one solved today. We're going to make a final decision today. What do y'all think? And everybody that wants to chime in, man. Goon Squad or Hooligans? So, yeah. So we got Goon Squad, the Goon Squad. Even my man Hooligan says Goon Squad. I like Goon Squad. So, Goon Squad. They're both good, Chuck. You're exactly right. I like both. I like both. It's close. It's close. Let's go. While y'all are still, just keep pumping them in. Let me know. My man Hooligan says that he disagreed. He thinks George Pickens had a huge game and Rudolph had inflated numbers because of it. But other than just the one throw, Hooligan, that slant that he took to the house, the other throws were Rudolph. Not to mention the slant was Rudolph. He beat the safety and put it right on Pickens, so he had the opportunity to catch and run and beat the safety. Baby Hands ain't doing that, or didn't do that. And the fade route, that was all Mason Rudolph. Both of them down the sideline. That was all Mason Rudolph. So, you can't take that away from Rudolph. Yeah, the passes were on point. My guy, whoever plays Cleveland in the playoffs is on alert. You're daggone right, Brad. You're daggone right. Whoever plays the Cleveland Browns or the Buffalo Bills, you better be on upset alert. First of all, if the Browns are the number 5 seed, who are they going to play? The Jags, the Texans, or the Colts? They're beating them. I know they're going to be on the road. I don't care. They're beating them. Whoever it is. And the Bills, if they stay in the 6th seed, they're going to go to Kansas City and win that game again. Again. It's happening. It's happening, people. So, Dogs or Knowles? I mean, Greg, do either of them even care? What is there, 40 transfers in that game? Combined 40 transfers? I don't think they even care who wins the game. So, my opinion on the Seminoles getting left out, John, man, they did it for money. I think they got it right. They did it for money because it's about money. But I think it's BS. I mean, I think it's BS. If it's about business, and that's what it's always about, business, they did what's right for business. Not to mention, it happened to me back in 1998. They didn't allow us to go because of business. So I don't feel sorry for Florida State because Florida State's the team that kept out Kansas State in 98. So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. So as the last show of the year, we're going to shut this one down, man. So I appreciate all of you guys, man. We have grown. We've changed. We've done a lot on the Big B Daily show, man, over the last 4 months. So I appreciate you guys growing with us. I really do. I thank all of you guys, man. It's been big for us, and it's us because it's not just me. It is us. It's truly an us thing. I got a guy, one of my best friends in this world, that sits right next to me, helping me do all of this. So I appreciate all of you guys, man, for being a part of it. You guys have a good new year, man. We'll be back. We're going to do a show, like I said, 2:30 on Monday. I don't know if we're going to stream the Alabama-Michigan game or not. I'll figure it out. I'll probably ask you all what you want to do, which I'm sure all of y'all are going to say stream it. So I'm leaning towards streaming the game. I'm leaning towards streaming the Michigan-Alabama game on Monday. So it'll just be on TikTok. So if you're not on TikTok, you got to get to TikTok, and we'll go from there. But other than that, man, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for joining the show. I promise we'll be back better than ever next year. And it looks like the Goon Squad it is, man. It looks like the Goon Squad has won out. So we will find out, and we will go from there. I appreciate all of you guys, man. And we're going to make this thing bigger and better next year with your all support. Love you guys. We'll catch you later. And aloha.